So, with Generation 5 coming out this September with its movie, and then next year with its series, all in CGI, the one common question I'm hearing a lot of people asking, including myself, is how much time has passed? Because what we understand, and the creative staff has pretty much established this, that G5 will be taking place in the same world and, in a sense, the same continuity as G4 Friendship is Magic. I mean, when you take a look at the screenshot with Sunny Star Scout and all the items in her room that reference G4, including figurines, statues, if you will, of the main 6, the main 7, the main 8, if you will, it really makes you ask that question of how much time has passed. Because the synopsis basically states that, friendship and harmony has been replaced by paranoia and mistrust. And that now it's up to Sunny and her friends to go on a journey to try to basically reestablish that friendship and harmony that Equestria was once known for. The magic that basically brought, held it together and didn't cause or allow any paranoia or mistrust to be seeped in or seeped through, or basically encourage different species of ponies and different species of any kind to not trust each other and go their separate ways. Very similar to when the tribe of the 3 ponies, or the 3 pony tribes, were separated before they got together. But getting back to the topical question here, the one question, like I said, that everybody wonders, with all this going on, with all this, information being given out, the synopsis for the movie and potentially the series and all that, and the introduction, I should say, of characters and everything, the question obviously is, well, probably the top question is how much time has passed if this takes place within the same continuity as Generation 4. Now, one thing I will give Generation 4 credit for is they do acknowledge that after so much time has passed, a lot of historical facts and, events and moments, and figures, all fall into myth and legend. I mean, if we take a look at Shadowplay, like I mentioned beforehand, you have this archaeological pony, just at first scoffing at the fact, that Rawkoof was able to stop, running molten lava from damaging a village with just his shovel. And yet, when she sees what Applejack is capable of doing by saving them, by basically holding back and pushing back a big old boulder, only then does her skepticism, if you will, kind of falter. And then, reality starts to kind of seep into her that maybe, the myth and legend of what Rawkoof did with the shovel is indeed true. So, again, I give credit to Generation 4, Friendship is Magic, for doing that. And it's not the first time they've done it. They've done it numerous times, throughout the show, especially in the later seasons. But again, the question is asked now for this one. How much time has passed, to the point that all the friendship and harmony and magic that held it together has now been replaced by mistrust, paranoia, and the pony tribes, the pony species, going their separate ways. And one time frame, or 1 year frame, I should say, that a lot of people have been pointing at as a potential answer to how much time has passed between Generation 4 and Generation 5, is 1,000 years. 1,000 years, a billion moons, million moons, whatever you want to call it. But basically 1,000 years in the eyes of a lot of folks, from what they could probably speculate, has passed between G5 and G4. And like I said, as acknowledged in G4, after so much time has passed, mostly like thousands of years, there are certain artifacts and moments and events and even figures that are true and historical, or historically true, that end up becoming myths and legends until they are proven to be exactly what a lot of people said they are, and that is, real. That is fact. Basically that yes, what happened, what this person did, or what this figure did, this event that they were part of, is all real and true, or was all real and true. So, a lot of people look at the fact that because everything, has gone to pot, if you will, that essentially 1,000 years have passed here between G5 and G4, and that everything that the main 6, the main 7, the main 8 has done, along with the help of their allies and friends that they've made throughout their journeys, have now fallen into that same category of myth and legend. In other words, the main 6 themselves, the main 7, I should say, of Twilight, Rarity, Spike, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and Pinky, and even Starlight, if you want to throw her in there as well as part of the main 8, have now all fallen into becoming nothing but urban legend and myths. Like basically, from what I could tell just by the synopsis and what people are speculating, a lot of people can almost assume that, one of the scenes they're going to get in the movie, if not the series, is someone basically scoffing at the existence of Twilight and her friends, saying, "Oh, you believe in those," basically saying something to to Sunny Star Scout, like, "Oh, you believe in that legend of Twilight Sparkle and her friends? You read too many fantasy books. That never happened. Those events never happened. Those ponies were never real." I believe is what the direction we're heading when it comes to how much time, or getting an answer of how much time has passed between both Generation 4 and Generation 5, especially if it takes place, like I said, within the same continuity somewhat of Equestria, basically the same world, same continuity. But, but here's the thing. Some have even said that maybe just hundreds of years have passed. Maybe 500 years or 200 years or 100 years. And that might be true too. That might be something that gets revealed. But here's the problem. Even though, let's say, 100 to 500 years have passed, even between that time frame, historical facts and events and figures still are looked at and considered as being reality, as being true, as yes, they did happen, or yes, this person or figure did exist and did help in this moment. But when it comes to thousands of years, especially in fantasy story or even reality, there is truth to the fact that basically a lot of historical facts and figures, and events do become or do end up becoming nothing but myths and legends. Some remain true, which is a fact, but most times certain events and figures that took part in that event turn into myths and legends. Now, some have even probably speculated that millions of years have passed, which would definitely, in my opinion, solidify the fact that what the main 6, the main 8, if you will, did to, reestablish that friendship and harmony, that magic, that basically brought all species together at the end of Friendship is Magic, Generation 4, has now become nothing more than myths and legends in the millions of years that have passed between G4 and G5. And I would not put it past them to probably go that far from basically a time frame perspective of how much time has passed. Because thousands of years or millions of years are always looked at as being utilized in stories as basically trying to, make what eventually will become true and fact in the story later on. Basically thousands to millions of years are used as basically a catalyst at first to basically, allow characters that don't believe, in these, or not don't believe, but hear about these events, but they don't believe them because they feel that they're nothing but myths and legends of fairy tales, which again gives me, speculation and opinion to think that we're going to probably get a scene in the movie, if not the series, where you have some characters scoff at the existence, or the very existence, of the main 8, the main 6, if you will, from Generation 4, and basically say that they are nothing more than legend and myth, and that the events that took place that surrounded them are myths and legends, of fairy tales. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's either 1,000 years or really just to solidify the fact that a lot of ponies and other species are now kind of, having that mindset of what, of what Twilight and her friends did along with their allies, to save Equestria and maintain the peace between not just all 3 pony tribes, but all species. I would not be surprised if the million year setting is the one they choose on to really solidify that now a lot of characters have that mindset of what she and her friends did are nothing but myth and legends, and that they themselves, the main six themselves, are nothing more than myth and legend. So, you know, so basically, I look at the fact that, as far as, whenever, however it's established, when G5 begins, I've got a feeling it's going to be between 1,000 or a million years. More than likely, to kind of stay within the confines of what G4 established, I think it's going to be 1,000 years. Like I said, if they go the million-year route, then that's good too. Because going a little further in the future really solidifies in the mindset of all the characters that they'll encounter that the main six, the main seven, main eight, their friends, their allies, and the events and everything they took part in are nothing but myth and legend, and they never really happened. They're nothing but fairy tales. So it's going to be interesting when we approach the movie, and then in 2022 the series, to see exactly how this is tackled, and basically to see how this is tackled and see the connection between the two generations, and how that's established, basically with how much time may have passed to where we could potentially, if not more than likely, we'll get characters scoffing at the fact, scoffing at Sunny, scoffing at Hitch, scoffing, at Izzy and the two Paromarian twins, Zip and Pip, if you want. I think that's going to be the names. Even kind of acknowledging the fact that, the main six, the main seven, the main eight of Generation 4 were even real. Or the events they took place in or took part in were even real. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they have in store for us in the movie, as well as going forward with the series. But what do you guys think? What do you think about the question of how much time has passed? Do you think, that will be addressed hopefully in the movie, or if not in the series later on, if not both? And what do you think the time frame could be? Do you think thousands of years have passed? Or do you think millions of years have passed that would solidify either way, probably millions of years, solidifying more than 1,000, that in the mindset of all the other species, including the ponies, that, the main six, the main seven, the main eight have become nothing more than myth and legend, along with the events they took part in? What do you guys think? How many years do you think have passed? Thousands? Millions? What are your thoughts? Do you think even hundreds have passed? But what are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Let me know in the live chat during this premiere. But what are your thoughts? Me, I'm looking at either 1,000 or a million years being the setting, because both in their own unique way can help solidify in story the mindset that a lot of these ponies now have, and that now, they believe that, the events, that Twilight Sparkle and her friends took part in are nothing more than myth and legends, along with said, main six, main seven, main eight group themselves from Friendship is Magic. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Let me know in the live chat during the premiere, and I will talk to you later. But I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And I'm out.